Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of I Mess Around with Game Builder Garage and make it into a flight simulator. And so far we've been doing pretty well for ourselves, and now we've been managing to get a pretty okay looking thing. And, well, I have finished the city off camera, like I should have been doing, and let's give a little bit of a tour of it. It's a little quickly made. I did it within the last hour before filming this, but yeah, I can consider the city kind of complete. Got a lot of buildings in here, you know, a lot of high rises. That brick pattern that I made ages ago kind of is working out here. Kind of made a new texture for high rises, and kind of have like a different window type, and built this little area out here next to the highway. Nice looking, and should probably put something down here, but you know, I've got a few green spaces with this fluff ball thing here, kind of acting as a statue, and kind of a similar story over here with this pencil that I put down, kind of hoping that I could probably turn it into something like a tree, but I didn't bother with that. And speaking of trees, that's what we're mostly going to be focusing on in today's episode. Although I do not like the fact that this exactly happens to the textures, I'm probably going to have to roll with the whole thing goes over and it's all looking the same from no matter what angle. I'm going to have to probably roll with it because I'm kind of kind of looking ahead, it looks like if I continue focusing on how that is, we're probably just going to run ourselves out dry of how much we can put in the game. For example, this city, trying to get a good view of it. Fortunately, I'm zoomed out all the way, but as you may have noticed, all of this detail and stuff, it's kind of taking a bit of a toll on that. And the problem with that is that we do not have enough space to do kind of the things I was planning on doing, like waterways, aside from this little river we have here. Bit of extra world building, and a lot of stuff with assets and textures, because the textures in this game are extremely limited. You can only have like 8 things to a texture if you don't know, so that's kind of what we're up against here, so it's a bit of a challenge. So I guess I'm gonna have to roll with the whole tree thing. It's a compromise I'm gonna have to accept to. I'm at least glad that shadows and ray tracing seems to go through when, or at least the shadow bit seems to go through on the asset itself, which is probably the best I'm gonna get. So I guess I'm just gonna have to roll with it. So I'm just gonna start cloning and making a lot of them, because anyway, so yeah. I should also consider programming in haptics, like for the controllers and pro controllers and all that stuff, because yeah, that'll make the game a little more enjoyable to play. I mean, it also makes things a little more interesting. And we should also put in, I'm also probably going to put in some fail conditions for some of the things like the planes and stuff, so like if you crash a plane, it just dies. The UFO probably would be the only thing without it, because, you know, UFOs, alien technology, it'll just be, it's probably invincible in some capacity. I don't know. And that looks pretty nice. Alright. Yeah, because this is kind of, that looks pretty passable. I mean, it's a bit weird that shows up like that, but it's not in a complete 3D space, but I guess beggars can't be choosers in this instance. And just continue cloning them, make the forest grow a bit bigger. Yeah, so we can have a small path, you know, kind of create a little park area. Nice looking thing. There we go, a little area. And I'll save that programming for later, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. Alright, so just put this down there for our little park. And let's just make a little bike trail or something of that variety. A little thinner of a road. Small details like these, you know. Alright, so everything's been built. There's a little path over there. Definitely going to build a few parking lots over here for cars in the future, you know, for the city. I did kind of toy with the idea of putting car AIs, but we're already kind of running low on in the department of how many node-on we can have, so that'll be a bit of a concern. But otherwise, yeah, we've got our little airport, our little path over there. It's definitely going to get expanded in the future. It looks like it's doing pretty good. It looks pretty nice. I would totally walk through that, except for the fact that there's a literal tree in the middle of the path, and I think we'll probably go ahead and fix that later. Yeah, it's in the middle. Alright. I'd probably go ahead and walk that, you know. Anyways, so that looks like it's pretty good. Again, a lot more is going to happen off camera than it is happening on camera. Still get the little mountain that you can get a view of practically everything in the entire game world. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with how things are coming around here, and I think we can safely say that we're knocking things out like we should have been for the past while. Glad to see that the city is finished. Glad to see that we're making headway on the building of the foresty area and the little park that goes with. Definitely going to clone a few trees to go around the little road that goes in here, and I'm definitely going to be cloning in some of the assets of highway and road from the city. But yeah, and that's turning out pretty good. Alright, so I think that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. A few changes have been made, and I'm not too mad at them, but we will definitely be going back. There are some refinements that have to be done. Doesn't mean the world's still completely built. I've got to complete a few things. Definitely going to finish off the rivers and stuff, and kind of make the lakes a little bigger, because even though I can't really get an ocean or a bay or a creek or anything like that, I could probably go ahead and build rivers and other small waterways, something that doesn't take too much to build, but yet adds to the diversity of this kind of tiny world, this tiny little plane of existence. So yeah, if you like this series, consider subscribing, because even though we're kind of coming close to the end, and I'm not really going to be doing much about Game Builder Garage in the future, I don't think. This series is far from really over, because we're still using just generic UFOs when we should be teleporting things like planes, and we should be using like actual stuff, and also adding in a few other things that kind of add to the complexity of the game. It's just we're now just finishing up the world building. So I think I'm going to leave it off here, and bye.